This video is about the development of education throughout history. I will explain how the education system has changed from ancient times to today and which milestones have shaped education in different eras. Over 4,000 years ago, children in Mesopotamia learned to write. Schools, called tablet houses, taught cuneiform. Only a few, mostly boys from wealthy families, were allowed to learn. Education served administration and religion. Knowledge was for the elite. In the 5th century BCE, Greece developed educational ideals. Philosophers like Socrates taught through discussion. Boys learned reading, music, and sports in schools. In Athens, education was important for free citizens. It promoted democracy and thinking. In the Roman Empire, there were schools for boys. Children learned reading, writing, and arithmetic from teachers called grammatici. Wealthy families had private tutors. Education prepared them for politics and administration. Latin was the main language. In the early Middle Ages, monasteries were centers of education. Monks and nuns learned reading, writing, and Latin. They copied ancient texts to preserve knowledge. Education was religiously influenced. Only a few had access. In the 8th century, education flourished in the Islamic world. Madrasas taught religion, mathematics, and astronomy. Libraries in Baghdad collected knowledge. Scholars translated Greek texts. Education was accessible to many. In the 11th century, Europeans founded universities, like in Bologna. Students studied law, medicine, and theology. Lectures were in Latin. Universities promoted critical thinking. They were the beginning of higher education. In the Middle Ages, scholars like Thomas Aquinas developed scholasticism. They combined logic with religion to organize knowledge. Debates were part of learning. This method shaped universities. Education became more structured. In the 15th century, the Renaissance promoted education. Humanists like Erasmus emphasized ancient texts and critical thinking. Schools taught Greek and Latin. Education became more secular. It reached more people. In the 16th century, Martin Luther popularized education. He wanted everyone to read the Bible. Protestant schools taught reading and writing. Education became more important for children. Girls slowly gained access. In the 16th century, Jesuits founded schools in Europe. They taught religion, mathematics, and languages. Their schools were strict but effective. Jesuits educated elites. Their methods influenced education. In the 18th century, the Enlightenment emphasized knowledge for all. Thinkers like Rousseau demanded education for free thinking. Schools taught natural sciences and philosophy. Education became more secular. It aimed to improve society. In the 19th century, Prussia introduced compulsory schooling. Children aged 6 to 14 had to attend school. Other countries, like France, followed. Education became a right. Public schools emerged everywhere. The Industrial Revolution changed education. Factories needed trained workers. Schools taught arithmetic, reading, and technical skills. Vocational schools developed for craftsmen. Education adapted to the economy. In the 19th century, women fought for education. Schools for girls became more common, for example in England. Women like Marie Curie studied at universities. Education became more equal. Access remained limited. In the early 20th century, Maria Montessori developed new teaching methods. She emphasized independent learning and play. Reform schools like Waldorf emerged. Education became more child-friendly. These ideas still influence schools today. In the 19th century, colonial powers brought education to colonies. Missionaries founded schools in Africa and Asia. They taught religion and European languages. Education often served control. Indigenous values were ignored. After 1945, education grew worldwide. Countries like Germany rebuilt schools. Education became free and accessible to all. Universities expanded to train professionals. Education was key to Reconstruction. In 1945, UNESCO established education programs. It promoted literacy in poor countries. Schools aimed to create peace and equality. Education became a global goal. UNESCO still shapes education policy today. In the 1980s, computers entered schools. Students learned programming and word processing. Internet access made knowledge more available. Education became more technological. Computers changed the classroom. In 2000, the PISA study began comparing student performance. Countries like Finland scored well. The studies revealed weaknesses in education systems. Education policy became data-driven. PISA influences school reforms worldwide. Since the 2000s, organizations promote education for girls. In countries like Afghanistan, more girls attend school. Education strengthens women's rights and the economy. Yet access remains difficult in some regions. Equality remains a goal. In the 2000s, online education began. Platforms like Coursera offer courses worldwide. Distance learning became important during the 2020 pandemic. Education became more flexible. Technology connects learners globally. Since the 1990s, inclusive education has grown. Children with disabilities learn in regular schools. Teachers adapt lessons to different needs. Inclusion promotes equality. Education becomes more diverse. In the 21st century, vocational education gained importance. Countries like Germany promote dual training. Apprentices learn in companies and schools. Vocational education fills skill gaps. It adapts to new technologies. Since the 2010s, schools teach about climate change. Students learn how to protect the environment. Projects like solar energy are part of lessons. Education promotes sustainability. It shapes the next generation. Since the 2010s, education uses AI. Programs adapt learning content to students. Teachers use AI for analysis and planning. Education becomes more personalized. AI changes learning. In war zones like Syria, education is difficult. Organizations build schools in refugee camps. Education gives children hope and stability. Access remains a challenge. Education is a human right. In the 21st century, lifelong learning becomes more important. Adults continue education in courses. Companies train employees for new technologies. Education never stops, it adapts to change. Education fights poverty, but inequality remains. Rich countries have better schools than poor ones. Children from poor families have fewer chances. Education policy aims to change that. Justice is a goal. Education is globally connected and digital. It promotes critical thinking and sustainability. Technologies like AI make learning flexible. Education remains key to progress. It shapes the future of the world.